Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness. Coming live by Barrett Cunyan.
Here we are again, and we have a beautiful Elsa Dillon in our bioactivation studio. Thank you so much, Elsa, for turning up. It's pretty early where you are, I believe. I mean, it's it's just gone up 8 o'clock here in Bulgaria, but I believe it's pretty much 3 a.m.ish on your side. So thank you very much for turning up. And if I may, today's hot topic for our beautiful viewers out there and for ourselves, just a little reminder what we're going to discuss today is on the subject of first contact. Before I hand the mic to our beautiful Elsa, I'd just like to give a little bio for, if I can just make this screen bigger. Right, just introducing Elsa. If for those of you who not too familiar with Elsa's work, Elsa Dillon, along with her husband Richard, is a mother of 8 residing on a farm in the hills of Byron Bay on Australia's eastern coast. Their website, spinbeings.com, that's spinbeings.com, shares experiences of ongoing extraterrestrial contact. Elsa provides insights into these profound encounters with multidimensional beings, exploring their messages, spiritual guidance, and the nature of contact. Their unique experiences offer a perspective on humanity's potential connections with other realms and dimensions, aiming to help others prepare and incorporate this information into their daily lives. Well, before we go into the questions, let's just stop this for a second and just see you. Elsa, it's really, really good to see you. How are things in Australia? Before we go into some kind of Q&A, let's just warm up in the studio as usual. How have you been keeping, Elsa?
Oh, we have been well, all of us. We have our son home, so that happened early this year. So this is a great thing for the family, great thing for our son, but also this, brought up a prophecy that had been with me for many years that great will come when the first son returns. And I didn't know if it was for me or for the family or... You don't get a book. No one gives you an instruction book. So this is... They speak of it starting yesterday. So the 13th, which is your day today.
Yeah.
The great prophecy of the new starts. And I was like, wow. Now it's, it's not just me saying it, so it's nice.
Absolutely.
Humanity needs a hug. It really does. It needs a big hug. It's been through a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's been a while since we converged our beautiful energies into the studio. I can't say exactly how long it's been, but yeah, it's been very interesting how we apply ourselves as well in terms of our daily lives, the kind of intentions we're putting out there as we become more conscious, aware of these fantastic times. Because again, I'm really, really excited. Reference to this contact that we're having, and just for the viewers out there, if you're not very familiar with Elsa's work, I mean, Elsa, you've been a contactee for quite a number of years now, and you're certainly bringing a lot for people to understand the essence and how things are brewing up for this incredible encounter that we are all beginning to feel, um, happening. It's really, really exciting. Um, I was going to say, if I may, maybe we can present one of our first questions. Here we go. Let's just put it up. I mean, we've put 5 questions out there, but Elsa, can you describe your very first contact experience with extraterrestrial beings and how it impacted your view of reality? So, can you describe your very first contact experience with extraterrestrial beings and how it impacted your view of reality?
Well, the first ones I'm going to say are stars. So, that would have been very young. Camping, maybe. Camping as a 13-year-old, 12. So coming of age, camping and not being in the city and realizing camping, the stars, the night sky is dark, and seeing that the stars move. So they're not just moving galactic, now they're moving with a personality. So then it came back to what my father said, is that as he grew up, he was under the locals in Egypt, and they said the stars built the pyramid. So seeing them move around as a adolescent, I was like, oh yeah, look, they're quite busy up there. Possibly, yeah, they could be building stars. They could be building pyramids. So yeah. But that was as far as the whole ET thing went. It wasn't really until I met Richard, and he had some friends from his Steiner school who were in the news in Australia. This was back in possibly 1989. And they had an encounter at school that was televised or in the news, so that was public in Sydney. And so where we shifted to in Byron Bay, we went and met him. So that was, he was a contactee, which I was like, what's a contactee? And a contactee was that was my first contact of a contactee. Then I started realizing that a lot of the military craft and stuff weren't Australian military. I was like, who are they? And then sort of paranormal activity with them, like no turbulence, no noise, in the wrong flight path. It's the synchronicity is the other one, because how can that happen and then they're there within seconds? Then you realize how magical this really is, because you get over the fear and you realize how when you're tapped into the energy of what is, how fast it happens. There's not really much delay. A lot of the ones maybe that aren't in the highest good will have, they'll always be lagging behind a little. They're always playing catch up. So then we had that get a little bit, I have to say, it got a little bit too much in our face, in our family face, where, the mother energy came over me in protective mode of the family and the farm, that disrupting the children, they're disrupting the animals. Enough's enough. And then the kids started, in play, the kids started finding ways to play back with them or acknowledge them, which shifted them off, made them leave us. So it's quite interesting, the acknowledgement of what their behaviour was made them not back off, but said, enough's enough, you don't need to be in our face anymore like this. So that sort of settled down. And then all of a sudden we had to shift to a new farm. And we shifted to this new farm. And it was a weird shift. It was very weird. We had to shift quickly. And then our dog died from poisoning. We weren't sure if it was a snake bite or poison. Died within 2 weeks. And a few other things happened that were amazing. And then this 2017 big one happened for me. It was like they knew we were ready, I guess, and or I was ready, or maybe we weren't ready, and it was just the alignments were ready. And then I'm going to say back then I thought it was a tragedy because my family felt that I left. You know, they thought they'd lost their mum. And no one in the family could work it out either. So we share these stories because this sort of stuff breaks up relationships, it causes divorces, separation, hatred in the family. That's unnecessary. You know, this had, I don't think I physically did this. This is external activities crossing our paths. And I think this is tricky for humans to get their head round. And because they don't play the game how we've been taught to play the game as well, they have different sets of rules. How they enter your field, how they communicate, the way they communicate, introductions, you know. They've got to do it their way. They don't know any different. So they're my first, like, I was sort of speaking about more the extra, what people class as ET, alien, extraterrestrial, off-worlders, outer-worlders. But the Fae and the ghosts, they started very young. Dragon-type energies, people of the lands, ancient ones, all that was sort of scattered all through my... It's like they're the trainers because they're here. They train you up for the next. Somehow, I do feel they're all connected, or they all know of each other though. It's just us piecing it all together in our versions now. And not going off the deep end in that. Yeah.
Do you feel that it's sort of snowballing into a much bigger presentation of some description on a larger scale? Do you feel that being a contactee, you're also transmitting and relaying, like we are doing right now, harnessing the energy, bringing it to a place where it becomes more palatable, shall we say, because there is, I don't know what percentage out there who, in my heart, it says that people are becoming more accustomed to these most welcoming energies. I don't feel there is any form of hostility as such. Of course, there could be certain entities that may not have our best interest, but I don't feel that we're converging with those energies. And I certainly can vouch that I don't feel that there's going to be any sort of nasty negative influences. I'm not saying it might not happen, it might happen, but this is what I feel the energy is happening. So my question is, do you feel that we're getting, because I've got this feeling that there is a window of opportunity, because when I get the opportunity to interview amazing people like yourselves, I sort of bring together this feeling that there is, people say certain things and then I kind of jigsaw it together. I feel that there is like a window opening up from about October to about March next year. I'm not big into the astrological aspect of things. And, I'm sort of, people are saying things like, in this window, humanity needs to raise their game and to be as pure can be. And bringing in certain modalities like working with the prana, which my understanding is to do some kind of breath work as well, which is going to be some kind of rocket fuel, to raise our game, to bring it even to a much higher, so that our contact will become more apparent, so it becomes visible for the masses more. Does that resonate with you? Can you see that being greater exposure coming out to the masses with some kind of contact on a larger scale?
I feel the contact from the time frame you said, the same till end of January, yeah, about the 5th,
Yeah.
5th, yeah. It will be. I don't know how it will be. It'll be intense, though. I know it will be intense. Intense in a way that's necessary. It's got a lot to do with the blue ones coming. They're coming. The blue ones are coming, and the blue ones are the light. So does this mean bigger solar flares? Possibly. Does this mean more closer comets, ETs, asteroids? Yes. But we're actually ready for it. I've been getting many messages already, not from myself, all around the globe. We're ready, we're ready, we're ready. We're ready for this. There's enough of us to assist anyone that is rattled. Yeah, there's enough of us now. And the messages I got was, they're almost a little shocked we're ready. They're not ready. They weren't ready that we were ready.
Right.
I don't think I'm actually feel a great relief from them, the other beings around my family and myself. I think they thought maybe we possibly weren't going to do it this cycle. I'd have to do a whole nother one. And it's just the timing, like bang. And this is what I've said before in the videos we put out. And it's they get quite impressed with how quickly we can change. So yes, we were doing it up until this point, but something did click in, something did change in humanity, and it clicked in at the right moment for enough of us to create the shift. So do I believe that we create the solar flares and call the asteroids in closer? Yes, it's our energy. People are telling me we're doing it with whales, we're doing it with animals, we're doing it with fae, doing it with each other. We're just calling each other in now. So yes, your timing is, I'm getting the same thing.
Okay, the same thing, yeah. Do you feel that it's sort of like, so in this period of October to 25th of March, do you feel that that's within that time frame? Yeah. I mean, it can exceed, it's a possibility, but I'm getting this calling. It's more because you're saying as well, in not so many words, you're saying that we're making this accelerate as well, or we're speeding things up. Not because I mean, some people are anxious, or I'm doing it from the perspective of, yeah, I'm truly excited, and it brings more smiles to my. So I'm smiling a lot more. I'm sort of, it's a phenomenal time to be conscious of this unprecedented times. You remember you said the word cycle. So if humanity was to miss the boat as such, when you say cycle, would we wait like 100 years or 50 years, or how does it work with the time aspect? So if humanity have missed the boat? I don't think we're going to miss the boat, but if we were to, the other side of the coin. So if humanity was to miss the boat, would we wait again a long period of time to get this opportunity again?
They showed me that in 2017 it was a near miss. So the near miss was like, so imagine a light, like a headlight or something, big headlight, and then it goes into a pin light like a laser. They're like, you got to get through that hole there. Have you gone through the hole? Are you going to be able to get through the hole? And like a target, which this is a symbol they've showed me many times to assist us as humanity, as a family, as a woman. They've showed me the target. And zooming in, and if we didn't make it through the target, I wouldn't be able to sit here now with you. It was a near miss, they said. And the way they said it to me is the other way, a near miss. Miss, as in her. And I was like, oh, so you're not talking about me. And the way they describe her is us. It's actually all of us. It's not a masculine feminine thing. This is the other thing we've been unfolding. This is one of the reasons that this cycle has got to this level is we're realizing there is a masculine and feminine in all of us, and we're addressing it now. People are talking about it more freely. You hear of people speak of it in an open way now, whereas before this was never done. This was only held in a masculine or a feminine, and we were separate. And they keep showing me and the family and happenings around us that we're all connected. We're all individuals, but we're all connected. And this was one of the big ones is, are we able to incorporate this? Because we've separated it for so long. This continually separating everything, separating astrology and feng shui and children and menstrual cycles and mythology and separating all the Fae messages and the Sasquatches and the Mimis and the ghosts, separating it all creates fragmentation, and you can't complete the spin properly. It's fragmented, or it shudders. So if you're spinning a wheel and it gets a nail in it, or a bit breaks off, it can't spin. It spins and then it gets a clump or a knot. Yeah. and but now we're starting to spin more clean. So this is how they explain the quickening to me. The quickening when we're spinning cleaner, not just in our bodies, but in our mind chatter, with each other, with the animals, with the land. When we're spinning, it speeds up, and then it creates like a magnetic pull. And this is law of attraction. It pulls each other into each other. It pulls in information. It pulls in data. It pulls in plasma from the skies. And it upgrades us. We become hybrids then, higher breeds. We haven't been doing this though. We've been so distracted with separating that we're not spinning or orbiting or... See, we have spinning in our cells, but then we have spinning in our cells. So you have outer space, right? But then you have the space of you. So you have the big spin of you, which is your avatar. Then you have the masculine, feminine, and then you start breaking it down to all the compartments in you. It's cute, right? I just think the whole thing, I just go, really? I can't see Dr. Joe's messages, but I can see his face there going, that's not how you say it. That's not the proper way to say it.
Well, Joe was saying it feels like the wheels have come off the menstrual cycle. And also, a gentleman by the name of Miguel was saying, been feeling the intensity increase in the last few days. And he welcomes visitors that will walk with us into a new world. It's interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, this is a good comment that you and Miguel have just said, is that, so imagine going to a party but no one wants you to come. You really don't, it's not a great way to start, really, is it? No one wants you to be there, and you're like, I don't want to go, they don't like me. But now you're saying, and I'm hearing many say, I'm excited. That's a whole different, like if you look on frequency charts and things, this is a whole new frequency. You had the bottom of the scale, now you got the top of the scale. That's the party I want to go to. That's the party they want to come to. This is the party the animals come to.
Yeah. Do you also, thank you for that. Do you also feel that an element of visualization, creating, like putting some pictures out there and projecting outwardly the purity intention of, not necessarily encouraging others to become like the kind of footsteps that, let's say, hypothetically, I'm putting, which is cause no harm, cause no loss, don't impose on the freedom of others. But just raising the purity consciousness of, like, one needs to be in a place of being in the awe of excitement, because you have that sense of knowing that this is truly upon us. And because we're having these experiences. I mean, you yourself, you've put a lot on the table for us to marvel with, but it really is launching itself in the most natural way. It's not like we're imposing this on anyone. It's, look at Miguel's comment, for example. He's feeling the intensity. It's not a joke. He's feeling the last few days. It's sort of like it's brewing towards this incredible contact as we're having, and it's going to reveal itself in the most profound way. And it's hard not to get excited. But in your understanding, has humanity has it had these sort of connections before, on a, maybe not on the kind of scale that we're now working with? in terms of how the collective is coming into this unity as such. Do you feel that historically these sort of encounters, has there been a place where humanity has come into this oneness, where it's welcoming this party that we're describing? um and do you feel that, coming back to the question, do you feel that it's a nice place to be if you start visualizing the kind of things that you want to see in this new paradigm? Do you think it's nice to visualize?
Well, uh, nice is a good word, but essential is the
A better
main
one.
word. Not a better word. It's actually essential now.
Okay.
If you're not, if you're the clones, the clowns, the copies will just fade. They kept telling me they'll fade. And so then I asked, oh, does that mean this person or that person or this type of person? They basically said it's none of your business in a kind way. And I was like, okay, I agree with that. I agree. It is none of my business. But your business, or our business here now, is to feel what makes us feel happy each day, assess each day, and then come into the new vision, like you said. And that vision can only come from you. It can't come from me. It can't come from, our husbands or our wives. It's got to come from us, and then we walk into it with courage and trust and loyalty in ourselves, in our cells. I keep saying this because it's literally in our cells. This plasma hybrid information is coming into the wet ones, us, the containers. It's raining in on us to collect the Akashic records, the water, and then it goes from there. It doesn't know. I brought this up on your show. Creation doesn't know. This is what creation is saying. If you want to move in the new way, you have to be the new way. You can't wait for it to turn up as an Uber, because it doesn't, because you'll be waiting a long time. You'll wait and then you'll get to the end and you'll go, oh, it didn't happen. Because we're ready.
I mean, I'm seeing it happen anyway. I mean, you reap what you put out there, in terms of, like, I mean, for me, it's the feedback that I get from whoever I come in contact with, because my intentions are of the purest, of the kindest. I always get a wonderful smile back, and it's very enriching. I find it very uplifting, and it's quite contagious as well. So it's like the area where you're kind of residing, it's sort of creating that vortex of energy where others are zooming in as well. It's almost that they can sense some kind of interesting interaction going on. So when people kind of zoom in, they're like, oh, this is an interesting party going on here. Can I participate? So it's really wonderful to experience, and I call that the biofeedback that you're going to get back. Here's another interesting question. We're not kind of sidetracking, but it's a question that I sort of put together before the show. I was going to say, how do you differentiate? How do you differentiate between communication with multi-dimensional beings and other types of spiritual or psychic experience? So how do you differentiate between the communication with multidimensional beings and other types of spiritual or psychic experiences that you're having?
So, all right. So, okay, how do I answer that question? My question is answered through your voice. So, when I hear your frequencies say those words, it tells me the answer. It pulls in whatever has to come out and be told, stirred up, whatever you want to call it. So to hang on, just gonna different. Okay, they're sidekicks. I've never looked at this word like this before. It's I'm not laughing at anyone. I'm laughing at myself because of how it's always been before us. So when I laugh, I guess it's a release of it's actually, I mean, it looks happy, but it's also it's either that or cry because it's a release. I've been carrying this word around for so long in my body, in my cells, as that version, and then I hear you say it, and it becomes a completely another world.
Yes.
I'm using this as an example as well. So sidekick is how they come through. It's a little sidekick. It's not me. I know it's not me. I know it's not my visions or creations when I feel this. So I go, who is that?
Yeah.
And I used to look around to see if it was people around me as a child. Then I'd see the imaginary beings or whatever, the society calls them. I'd see the fae and I go, oh, is that you guys? Or is it the bird that had just presented, or an insect, or was it the shooting star? Was it a shooting star? Sometimes it can be the wind. Okay, that's ridiculous. Well, maybe from the separating mind, the mind that's still separating everything, it probably would look ridiculous. But I get some great messages from the wind and how it moves leaves, or it shows me a direction or a path, or shows me to look somewhere or watch something coming or move out the way. It's protecting me. It's looking after me. It's my friend. It's playing with me. And this is how I differentiate. I just go, oh, it's that. It's that. When the new ones come through, so sometimes, meeting others, new energies will come through, or the children will bring in new ones that I haven't met yet. Sometimes that can be a little painful. There's a few that have created a little bit of pain, and obviously in my body or my experience here, I feel possibly maybe I wasn't open enough to it, or there's no. I used to think they were punishing me too, like a lot. The pain, the sadness. I sometimes used to think this was pain, sadness was punishment. But you just get over that stage. Because what did I do wrong?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So we're saying also that you get certain signs which knocks at your door, and obviously if you're receptive to it, you can pick up certain energies from the signals that you're getting, because there are some.
These signals, I have to say, are bizarre. Like, so it can be from hauntings, it can be from whales, but then I have all the celebrities and elites on the outskirts of us as well. I've got all that going on, and politicians, and I just go, I'm just a mum on a farm. Like, what, why? And So it has to be this great so that I can present it in a nice package and show others through, great people like yourself who will allow me to speak openly and present it in a way that it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Look, she's still smiling. It's okay. She's been able to brush her hair this morning, get up at 3 a.m. She's okay. It's okay. She can do it. We can do it.
Yeah. That's great.
Did I answer or do I spin off? Do I answer the question? How do we
Yeah.
differentiate between the two? The other thing I wanted to say with that, which is it's a really good, this one, is that one of my biggest encounters, my parents used to, because I used to get ringing in my ear, the ringing in your ear
Right.
is you tapping into the frequency.
Oh, interesting. Right.
Yeah, so a lot of people have ringing in their ear, or it goes from ear to ear to ear to ear. That's you adjusting to the frequency. That's
Yeah,
actually a good sign.
it
But we,
is.
but the doctors, when you go,
Yeah.
will say you have this really great illness. You're special. You have this special illness, which we're going to treat with all this stuff, and it softens it, or it turns it off, or shuts it off, or distracts you with other.
Without sidetracking in any shape or form, but as we're on this doctor issue a little bit as well, do you feel, because I'm connecting with especially young, like even my son's age, he's 20 now, and he's never been one for having a huge appetite. So he's not one that sits at a table with massive amount of food around him, and his intake of food has always been very little. He doesn't like to consume too much. Now, obviously, if you went to the doctor and said, "Look, uh, do I have an issue here?" They will just look at it from one perspective. But we know that something extraordinary is taking place on the planet. So do you feel that these youngsters these days, they've got this something built within themselves that they may not require to eat as much? I mean, he's perfectly healthy, he's got some issues only because the level of programming that's been set aside, the level of conditionality, if you will. So some youngsters are looking at that saying, is it normal behavior not to eat much, or do you have to consume? Because over consuming could be detrimental. You can put on weight and so forth. So you know yourself the right balance. And should we become more, I feel I know the answer to the question as I'm presenting it, but so we got to be very conscientious in terms of what we're palating, right? Do you feel it's important to pay attention to what types of food we're consuming, and because it will affect our overall vessel, right? How does that sit with you in terms of a question like, should we be paying attention to what we're putting on our plates, and the, the the vastness of it? Do we need to eat certain amounts, or
Well, our family have been going through, we keep adjusting our diets, each individual in the family. So
yeah,
we sit down to a big meal, but a lot of us won't eat of things on the plate and the others will.
right,
Um, so there's no judgment. It's just they need that to support their cells, because of the way their structure is and my structure. So you'd think in a family of 10 there'd be some similar ones. I look at the table and I just see, it's like looking at each one's a different nationality. That's how I look at our family, because how different how different they eat, how much they eat and not eat. Like, it's quite
yeah,
unusual. Some we've been noticing, some of us in the family and others that we do sessions with or meet out and about, is they're having to have a bit more extra weight on to handle this next, like a buffer zone. And I
Right.
go, well, this is interesting. But they're saying,
Yeah.
oh, I'm putting on weight. And I said, well, maybe it's like, it sounds horrible, right? But I'm not meaning it like this. You know how the whales, they go to north where it's really cold, so they need to have that protection layer.
Yes.
Maybe like if we stop looking at it as I'm getting fat or I'm getting skinny, looking at it as what does my body need now? Am I carrying fluid? Maybe you're one of the ones that have to have extra fluid in you so that you have more cells in you to collect more plasma.
Right.
So instead of saying I'm carrying too much fluid at the moment, this is not my normal body weight, or I've got weight
Yeah.
on, you might be one of the ones that actually know that you need more of the comets coming through, or intelligence coming through. Like, how do we know? We don't know these answers, and we don't realize how clever our bodies are, and they're setting
Yes.
our path up.
Yes.
Maybe you can't walk around as much in this period, like you have a sore leg or a sore back, because they want you to stay low. They want you to stay horizontal for this period.
Yes.
So then you start to go, is it an illness or is this my path? Are they assist? Is someone assist? Am I assisting myself? And I think it's a great way to look at it, because it becomes like this project of you, this creation, this vision of you, and you stop doing this program, there's something wrong, and you go, you know what? It's just going to work out. So just say a family member is ill and you have to go and sit with them for a time, whether they're crossing over or not, but just having to sit with this one. Maybe you're meant to be collecting it together in this state, of appreciation for life. Maybe it's taking your cells to this open heart moments, so that you can collect it better in you.
Yeah.
I guess they keep showing me, stop looking at it from how you're looking at it. Stop looking at it from the schooling. Stop looking at it from how they've told us, and start seeing all the different possibilities of it. When you start seeing all the different possibilities of it, it makes you walk around, Barrett, with a big smile, because you say, oh my gosh, really, is this going to happen? And it's not a tragedy, it's just an experience.
Absolutely. I mean, Miguel is kind of putting it out there in terms of to be centered, non-reactive, from a neutral state of, because people have high-end expectations when we are more into the awe and in that place where we're basing everything on being thankful, gratitude. It's puts us in a better stead, beingness, if you will, because then people, you don't need to overreact or so it's a very delicate balance, how we process these phenomenal changes that are taking place. So I have another question here, if I may. What preparation, if any, do you believe individuals need to undergo? We've got an orchestra out there at the moment. Coming, sweetie. Ah, They want to involve with our show today, I think. I'm coming, sweetie. So the question is, what preparation, if any, do you believe individuals need to undergo before experiencing first contact? What preparation, if any, do you believe individuals need to undergo before experiencing first contact? Quite general.
Are they howling?
Yes, they normally around about this time they like the attention. Obviously, I'm over here at the moment, but occasionally they do howl. They sing as well, and they cry sometimes if they don't get what they want. It's less. It's mother and daughter we have. They sort of. I think they want to get more involved with us. But
Well, I'm gonna go there with that because this is a great prophecy of now.
Yes.
The prophecy of the dog, and the dog. I just spoke yesterday with this most beautiful lady, who I speak to a lot with, and she brought through the prophecy of the dog for me again, especially the white dog. The
Lily's
prophecy of
white. Yeah,
is
ironic.
why he's
She's
a white
white.
dog.
Yeah, she's a bit like a husky. Sorry, I'm interrupting you a bit, but yeah, the description of Lily, the lady dog that was howling, the female dog that was, she happens to be a white dog. Good mention. It's
Oh,
ironic
now
that you mentioned.
I got goose pimples now. The
She's a
message
rescue
we.
dog. Yeah,
Oh
she was
yeah,
rescued.
she's rescuing us, all right. See. Okay, so the message that the first white dog that presented came 2 weeks before our son returned home. I thought it was a message. This dog crossed over. This dog was named Moo. Moo. Emu. Taught me about Moo. Didn't know about Moo. Moo's huge. Lemuria, Taurus, Horus, yeah. Then yesterday, this lady's, she said, this white dog, it's not her dog, it just presented to her. I went, wow, this is starting to be like the prophecies again of the dog. And she said, Ali comes, he just comes. I went, are you hearing what you just said to me? Ali comes. Ali is God. Ali comes means he's here. Ali, the God, is us, in us. He's here. It's ready. Her dog is telling me it's ready. I come on with you, say a few words with you, and a beautiful question, and your dog start calling it in, howling, the howling. See, they use howling in scary films. Howling is a form of a communication with dogs. When they howl, other dogs all through hear the howl. It carries. But when we think of animals, we only think that they're communicating with other dogs, right? When they're howling, they're calling out, like it's them as well. They're connecting with these beings. You hear people say that they see ghosts and other beings and ETs, and our dogs bark at craft. And a lot of the time, we'll have the wild dogs howling. I go out and there's big craft going over. Yeah, right? But we don't think of that. We don't think of this. Maybe they're howling because they know someone is there.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
How cool's
Right.
that, right? Like when you think of this, is it? So now we're using everything around us. No, God is above another, and we're using everything around us and all the signs and the messages, and we're going. There it is. We pull it through, and we use it for our spin. There it is.
Yeah.
Pull it through, use it for a spin. And it's just us recolonizing how we use ourselves, our cells again.
Good. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So,
Great. Right.
you're howling, your beautiful puppies there might be connecting with Fae or ancient ones of the land, and they're calling them in.
That's phenomenal. I mean,
Watch how they
Lily's.
do it too. Like if are they sitting? Are they standing? Are they standing and wagging their tail? Are they lying down? Are they both standing, or is it only one? Like, watch how they do it, because you might actually see a pattern happening.
So Lily was howling earlier, and so that's the mother. The daughter, because it's mother and daughter, where we live here in Bulgaria, it's like it's a bit unprecedented to allow a dog to wander around in the village, because it used to be quite customary not to allow dogs to wander by itself. But this wonderful dog, Ida, her name is, named after one of my grandmothers. She has carte blanche. She can go and come back as she pleases, and nobody gets disturbed. In fact, it's very welcoming when they see Ida arriving, like going around and visiting. So it's customary now. It's like it's and I just enjoy seeing that, because it's just the connection is so powerful. It's like the community has become more connected. The dog is coming, almost knocking at the door. She hardly ever barks or howls too much, but you can feel her presence, and it's beautiful to witness. And I'm just so honored.
Is that the mother or the daughter? Which one? Sorry.
Yeah,
The
this is
daughter.
the daughter's doing this. The mother has, unfortunately, a little bit of a bad reputation. We haven't tested it out. She has a beautiful yard to run around in, but we are reluctant to release her like the daughter, because she ends up doing not so good things. Like she will go, and because there's a lot of chickens everywhere, and she will go and bring one home. So whereas Ida doesn't do things like that. Ida will go there and respect the animals residing there, and she won't disturb the pieces. Whereas mother tends to, she's having a field day. She will go and bite the chicken's neck and bring it home. So because of that activity and her track record, we won't allow her to do that. But the daughter is another being, because she's something else. She makes people happy. She makes people smile. So it's good to see this, because it's not customary. It's when we first came here, it's like most dogs are used to be chained. If anything, they wouldn't allow dogs to wander. So it's nice to see this natural phenomena take place, and it's encouraging to see as well that
So
dogs are allowed.
she becomes a
Yes.
connector. She becomes part of the community. She is
Mm,
the community. If she doesn't turn up, they'll probably miss her. This dog might lift the spirits of whom she's visiting, and this is what
absolutely.
your show's doing. You, you're the same. I mean, I've come across you, and others who, like me, come across you, and then they go, "Oh, this gentleman, he's got a lovely energy," and then they listen to all the other people you interview, and see, this is how it happens. But then I love how you said, but then we have the mother who we can't release because she rattles everyone. This is how our kids think of me. Don't let her out too much. Don't let her go to the shopping centres. Gosh, because she's just going to create a big problem. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's so
we
cute, like the mother and the daughter. This
yeah, yeah,
the mother rat, the mother energy rattles.
mm,
But the daughter is the version of the mother. So she's a cut off piece and she's
yes,
another one. And she's this version. We'll try this version creation, saying, look at this version. Instead of bringing a chicken home, we'll go and say hi to all the chickens. So you get
yes,
to experience not one chicken, but all the chickens. It's
yes,
beautiful.
it is, it is.
It's a higher breed.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So do you think so reference to the third question I was going to say is what preparation, if any, do
Oh, I'm
you believe?
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no, no, absolutely no need to apologize in any shape or form. But what preparation, if any, do you believe individuals need to undergo before experiencing first contact? I mean, I'm going into the sorry.
Okay.
First,
So
sorry.
you, I'm going to say first contact. You need to really. I know it sounds really corny, but you really have to have it with yourself. You've got to realize that you are you are the act of you and the witness. And you start to the C act, which I'm grateful from speaking with Dr. Joe because he said these words in our first interview, and it took me 6 months to understand what he said to me. And I realized that the C act is the ones, it's the matrix. So once you understand you're the one, you're the two, there's no death, you're the double doors of spirit. You go in, you come out, you go in, you come out. Once you realize this, then you're really driving a ship. But if you're not driving your ship from there, is it on autopilot? Like if it's on autopilot and you had beings coming in, it's not, you're not running your spin or your creation or the truest version of you. So you then become a copy, a clone, or a clown. And so if a being came in there, then the information would be messy, fear, doubt. You see what I'm saying? So you really have to have first contact in you, realize that that's you in there, and then go from there. And then that would be the only preparation you really need. Because if your body's not healthy enough or things like this, it will have to improve once you understand there, the calibration point, the center of you, which is your fifth element. It's what all the the Buddhas and everyone. So what happens is when you get there, everything else will work to make there better. But if you're not there, like if you're in the future worried about all the birthdays and the Christmases and all this, or you're in the past worrying about the last birthdays and the Christmases, you're not there.
Yeah, you got to unplug yourself really to from the place where because uh, if you're not happy in the state of beingness that you're in right now, is there could be like something happening in the past or in the future versions. So you're in sort of these sort of versions rather than bringing it into this moment. So when you have that incredible connection to the self-realization, then you see the potential and you unmask and you see the world for what it is for the first time. It's like opening your eyes for the first time, if you will, and seeing it for what it really is and what it stands for, and having this incredible knowing, and then how you navigate and your purpose in life. It is exciting. I mean, it's like once you have that contact with oneself, it is the ultimate state of beingness, isn't it? There is nothing better. It is it's the pinnacle of who you really are. So you need to be in that state of being, and this.
In saying that, um, I feel like, so this is me, I feel like I've gone down through all my chakras and I had to let go of all these different levels of me, being the mother, being a wife, being a woman. Yeah, let go of all the daughter, let go of all, they dissolved me literally in the craft, and then I had to come back up through it all. And, it's not always like this. Sometimes I have to go back down, but when I go back down, maybe I need to go back down in my cells so that I'm ready for the and this is why astrology affects each body's cells differently, because it's your galactic family. It's different versions of your galactic family. So when the Earth, or if we are round, whether we're round or flat or in a dome, doesn't matter. When we spin, Earth, I mean, and the sky changes, we're faced at night and the day, because people forget that the stars are still there in the day, that you just can't see them. You're faced with different energy, and sometimes that energy will be familiar, sometimes it will be old star seed energy, sometimes it's completely new. So if you're there, you're ready for there. But if you're a bit over here and a bit over there and a bit over here, and you're fragmented, you're in this old wound, and you're listening to what that person said over here, and you're watching scary films here, you're very distracted, and you're not there. So if you're not there, you're not going to see them properly because you're distracted. When you're on the phone to someone and you're trying to do other 20 jobs, but you're not answering them properly. You're not giving them their full attention. You're giving the jobs the full attention because you're distracted. You're trying to do too many. I know this because I'm a multitasker. So it's important to, focus.
Absolutely.
Because that's when you hit your head or shut your finger in the door or drop a glass.
When I was once upon a time in the business environment, I'm sort of not into the business environments as such. But once I mean, when I was, what I used to do a bit of cold calling and looking for prospective clients. One of the things, this is the hallmark of why I did pretty well at what I did. The hallmark of the way I was communicating when I phoned a company, a person who I'd never contacted before. The first thing I would say is, can you speak? Because most people, because I can sense that a lot of people are so busy, they're so rattled in their daily lives. So you're like, and the feeling I used to get sometimes, you're not from this planet, are you? You're calling me and you're asking, can you speak? Well, I can feel that you're very busy and I want to get your attention. So I feel as though maybe now's not the time. So when's a good time for us to talk? And so people are very appreciative when you're empathetic, because I can tell from the frequency of how people answer a call, how abrupt they are, or but I can tell there's a certain tone behind it. Sometimes you don't even want to be there. Sometimes you think, oh my goodness. So, but then you fill in the gap and you say, look, I sense now is not a good time. Can we schedule a time where, I don't say this, but can we schedule a time where you'll be more present? in yourself. So it's a great way of communication, and it really begins with self first. Like you said, you got to take ownership, responsibility of understanding who you're actually communicating with, and what your intentions are. What is it that you're trying to create? So for me, it's the essence has always been, unconditionality, then conditionality, and yeah, it's really really exciting to be able to convey this, because it's setting new trends as well, isn't it, Elsa? When you behave like this.
Uh,
So I,
yeah.
for some
Sorry,
reason,
I just
I just removed this. For some reason, I've clicked on the fourth question, but I think we've more or less answered that. But what preparation, if any, do you believe individuals need to undergo before experiencing first contact? Yeah, I think we've more or less answered that question.
yeah. A lot of
Okay.
the time, though, with experiences, just make the basics. Make sure you have salts, hydrates. All this sort of. This is the basic stuff. Make sure you're spending enough time in the sunlight. Um, it just. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at something. I've got a blue light flashing through the window at me, which
Okay.
I'm finding a bit weird, because
Is
it's
that
dark here.
okay?
Yeah. Um, That's okay. It just went 1111111 live when it happened, so I was just like, "That's very weird." Okay. Um, so now I'm having something happen on a live. uh, and I have this happen on sessions and Zooms, and so sometimes I go, "Oh, are they watching? Who's watching? Is it the elites, or what is it? Is it the bad guys or the good guys?" And then I go, at this point, with everything that's happened, what does it really matter? Obviously they're no different to your dog. They're just doing a howling, they're just doing a calling. This is the way they're communicating. Get over it. They're just communicating. Get over it. Stop playing those stupid films you've seen where they've got the music and the difference with happenings and life is there's no warning, there's no trailer, there's no build-up music. Life, death, accidents, there's no build-up. So us humans go, oh, well, it's not like what we saw in the film, so it's not that big a deal. But if you had, if you had the build-up music now to this blue light coming, the build-up, and then the blue light comes through, and then it's 11111, you'd go, wow, that was something amazing. Did you see what happened on that film? And the blue light, and it went through her head and came through her ear on the other side at 11111. You'd go, wow. If you read it as Moses telling you in the Bible, you would go, wow. He was speaking to a blue light that went through his head. Harry Potter, a blue light went through his head and he collected a memory. And it had the music and, sparkles coming through and all this. And you go, wow. Well, what I'm saying
Treat.
is these messages are before you. They are before you. They're not gooped up. They're not packaged pretty. They're just there before you pick up on them. Because they're there for you. They're a gift for you. Whether it's the dog, whether it's the fae, whether it's ETs. It's there for you. And that feeling that it's just there for you because it just happened at that moment empowers you of the one in you, the God in you. And this from now to February, like you said, this is get it in, put it into practice, daily.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect.
Your top. So this is my gift. This is your gift to me. You have a bear on your left shoulder. Bear is to birth. So birth is Anu. He's wearing a cap, and he
Yeah,
has a black. Oh, he dropped the bear.
so,
He's got a
I mean,
red
he's
oh,
wearing a
he's got
lovely
the
hat.
he's got the lovely hat on. Okay, so he's aligned. All right, so you have a man, then you have a white box, then you have the bear, then you have your t-shirt. Your t-shirt's in the green, which is Anu again. Anu is now you also on the shirt have the beaded. It's a beaded frequency. See how it's a frequency beaded? This is telling us about the eclipse. As we're going into eclipse season, and you're wearing it. So you're birthing the new of the eclipse. So by me speaking with you and looking at the gifts of you, because you are a gift to me and all your audience, you're bringing attention for me to share the messages I see about the code of the eclipses coming through. So now your audiences and myself are aware of the eclipse season coming through, because what happens is it gets a bead around them like this. See your top? This is what happens. The light happens. So the beaded, yeah. So you got, how many beads are there? So I've got 1, 2. Is there another one down? 3, 4. Is there 4 beads? 1, 2, 3. Is that 4? 3, 5. 5 beads. Is that 5?
I think
Yeah.
so. It's 1, 2, 3,
3,
4,
4,
5. Yes.
5 beads. Yeah.
I just bought this recently. I saw it, and it was like a calling. I felt, and you know, you, I was actually, yeah, I was looking forward to wearing this for the show. Funny enough, I was
So
attracted to it.
which hand's your left hand? Because you've got beads on your left hand. That's your left.
That's my right.
So your right hand has beads on it as well. From my perspective on the
Oh, is it?
screen, that's
Oh, I
it
see.
looks the
Oh,
same.
right.
So, so now I'll sit with this message that I've seen, the
Yeah.
birthing of the new beads, and I'll go and garden through the day, and then other beings will present and help me understand that message. And so
Yeah.
people go, oh, well, that's just crazy, or that's just a coincidence. And I go, well, you can say that, but when you see how we shift through our day with this type of information, it makes our life easier.
Yeah.
Even
Still
with
does.
chaos, it still makes it easier. And it
Yeah.
works. It brought my son home. It gives me a brand new piano. You know, it just, it helps the health of a neighbor. It,
Yes.
it brings a lost pet home or
Mm.
a new pet. It you see awakenings in others from it. Like these things affect, and
Yeah.
this is what we have to realize: is this simple howling, this simple shirt, this simple words create out there. And how do we know that it, we needed to speak of this eclipse, right?
Yes.
So if our ones, your ones and my ones didn't speak, go back and forth, you didn't buy the shirt of the eclipse, then that alignment isn't there. So then the eclipse can't do what it has to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see what I'm saying? It needs the ones, it needs the creators. If
Yeah.
you're waiting for someone else to do it, you're waiting for someone else to be a version of you, really? Be you.
Yeah.
Be you.
It's funny because all my life, even when I was a lot younger, I was like, when meeting someone I hadn't met ever. And then we got to know each other, and then we became friends. And they would always say, do me a favor. And I said, what? Don't change. Be who you are. Because it's like, if you're comfortable in who you are, you don't need much outside external forces to make you happy. And it's a strange phenomena, because I don't feel as though I need anything as such. It's not like for me, in the universe, the way I understand it is, there's abundance. There's no such thing as scarcity. I don't feel that there is lack. I don't feel that there's lack of anything. So your attainment, your attention, what you put it on, you get that. And for me, the greatest feeling is being comfortable and happy in yourself without needing to do anything. And when you are doing things, you notice everything around you just brightens up, and it sort of it presents itself in the most beautiful way. I'm just looking at the fourth question, if I may. I've just made up sort of five, so this is the one that I wanted to ask you. How have your interactions with extraterrestrial beings evolved over time, and what messages do you primarily convey to you and your family? So how have your have how have your interactions with extraterrestrial beings evolved over time, and what messages do you or messages do they primarily convey to you and your family? Yeah.
Um, well, the children don't know any difference, so
Yeah.
that's so it's more. I notice it when we meet new people,
Hmm.
because you can see them you can see them tapping and trying to work out what's going on with our family, and you can see they're attracted because they want to hang out with us. So they're just quite puzzled about the whole dynamic. What do you mean they're all your children? And why are you so happy? And why? And yeah, they're quite. And then they you can see the dynamics with the children. How they interact with the children, and how each child holds their own. It doesn't matter how old they are or their height or anything. They hold their own. The youngest in the family is the shortest, obviously, but um, she holds her own probably the most. Like the daughter and your dog relationship, she knows how to hold herself through all the social groups, even with authorities. Our children aren't really look at authorities in an authority way. They just look at them as another being. I have to say this story. So, because this is how they treat galactic beings as well, and ghosts, and shadow beings, and sirens, and whales. They treat them all the same, and as we should. So we get this phone call, and our son has had a car accident. This was on the 1st of May, and the gentleman that he had the accident with is world known. So I'm freaking out a little bit because, the human person comes in. I go, well, we're going to have problems here from the elites, blah, blah, blah. How does this happen? Anyway, the first thing my son does is call Richard. Please come. So Richard turns up and he takes the electric one, Ginger. And it's a raining night. They get there and they start seeing if the man's vitals are okay. Can he speak? All his, because it doesn't matter who he is. They want to see that he's okay. It doesn't matter that he had too much alcohol. It doesn't matter about this. We don't care. We're not here to harm you. We just want to know everyone's okay. Is everyone okay first? This man got quite hostile because he knew. Then he had all his minions, workers around him, protecting him. And so they're waiting for the policeman to arrive. The policeman arrive in the rain. And my daughter says to the policeman, they say hello to the officer, and they said, before you speak, this is what Ginger said. So she's a young girl, right? She says, before you speak, I just want to say, I just want to say something. I just want to interrupt. I know this is all very important, but your fly's undone. It was completely undone. And she goes, I'm not looking there, but I just wanted to. Yeah. Because it threw the whole. So you have all the energy of an accident, and Ginger says these words to him. Yeah, I know. So it's quite. What's interesting is because for our own knowledge of accidents with policemen in the area, so they're recording it. So
Yeah.
she's showing him. I just like it's so at the end of the day you still have to pull up your fly and so I felt like that happened in this situation that felt really dramatic, to lift it, not only for the people there, but also when she came home and told us the story. I go, really? These were your first words? Like, yeah. And so by us being, like you said, the smile walks you through these moments.
Yeah, it's
With this situation that happened the next day, we did a few grounding words, a few clearings, and then something dovetailed in the world.
yeah.
We really don't want to. We haven't talked much about this in the audiences because becomes part of all the labels and the names and the hoo-ha. But we just wanted to share that these occurrences are happening. Did I plan for anyone to have an accident? No. Was any of our family members doing anything wrong? No. But it happened for us to experience and meet all those people. Maybe that person, that well-known person, needed our energy to take him through with his family for the next stage, to assist his neighbours and him. Because every time you have an interaction, you're healing someone, you're sharing someone. It's a weird way. It's weird ways of looking at it, but this is how it works. This is how it works for our family. We've been doing it for 30 years, so I know for us, this is how it works. And I start seeing it in other people. Like you saying, you smiling.
It's very powerful. I mean, it also diffuses, and it's. I find one of the most powerful words that I use very often. It's like it harmonizes and neutralizes. Thank you. And if you can mean it, it's even better. I mean, if you're centered and you understand how you can harmonize and neutralize and not make it your problem. Sometimes there are problems outside you, some people get involved with the dramas and what have you. But if you stay centered and you say, I understand the situation, thank you to this side, thank you to that side, and it sort of it alkalines it, it gets rid of that, whatever you want to call it. It's a great way of communication. And again, it begins with yourself. It's what dialogue you're having for the minute you open your eyes. I'm excited the minute I open, and I'm excited when I close my eyes. I'm excited when I open my. So you're very, very, very balanced in one's approach.
So you're a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're excited. So you wake up and you're excited, and sometimes you take longer to work out you're excited because you take longer to wake up. What does that do for energy? That makes them, they feel that excitement. They want to hang out with you. It's law of attraction. This is law of attraction.
Yeah.
You're excited in being you. So other excited ones want to be with you. You're not going to pull in the grumpy ones. Or they
Yeah.
may come in and lift with you and then leave. That's what will happen.
Yeah.
Because it's you trigger them, as
Yeah.
you do with your audience as well. And then you have the humankind in you to say thank you. You're saying thank you for turning up. Thank you
Yeah.
for patting my dog when she visits you. Thank
Yeah.
thank you. This word thank you. Appreciation is
Right.
acknowledgement. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful.
So it's
This
like
brings me.
when you, oh, sorry. So it's like when you when you say thank you and acknowledgement, it's like you're going to church and you sing a carol or prayer and you've acknowledged the greatness. And so it's almost like a prayer as well, or remote viewing for the next.
Yeah.
Because you're saying thank you, appreciation, lifting, next. Whereas if you didn't do any of that, what are you going to be walking into?
Yeah.
It's dismal. It feels dismal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last question. What do you think the broader significance of first contact is for humanity as a whole, and how can we integrate these experiences into everyday life? I mean, we did just discuss you obviously to build that connection with self first. So once you understand the intentions, what you're putting out there in terms of what you send out, you get back to some degree. So, what do you think the broader significance of first contact is for humanity as a whole, and how can we integrate these experiences into everyday life? Um,
All right, so I'm going to break this down in language. So
yeah,
so to sense her is a sign of wealth, of soul contract for the chakras of man as a whole. How do we integrate this? You, it's versions of you each day as you go to sleep and wake, go to sleep and wake. So, what do you think the broader significance is? Broader, um, to see her. It's to see her. What is the broader? To see her. So her is not male and female. To see her is to see the black, is to see space. It's to see the in-between of the stars. Once you see the in-between of the stars and the stars, you start to understand the mu of the Milky Way, where the intel is coming from. What do you think the broader What do you think the broader significance is to integrate into our day? Uh, to realize that it's coming, whether you want it to come or not. It's funny about this whole first contact thing. First contact, first is fist, is soul. It's the soul. You've got 5 questions.
Five. We counted this as well earlier. It was
Yeah, I
5.
feel like this frequency is working through the questions for the eclipse. So what
Right.
is the, so, okay, so we know there's great intel coming. What do?
Mhm.
We have an election. We have September 11. Do
Yeah.
you think these dates are not random? These dates are not random. If you knew this was coming, what would you put in place here? Put in distractions. So there'll be many, many distractions. The greater the intel, the greater the distractions. And I'm going to have to say, when you're in this smile state of the 7 or the 5 or whatever number chakras, whatever hues of man you are, when you're in there, the distractions aren't, they just don't hold you. You're just like, oh, really? It's just not, it doesn't hold your attention long enough. I know you feel, I know you feel this. I can feel it in you, that what's going on in the world doesn't hold your attention as much as what you see right before you with your son or your wife or your dog or the your neighbor. I know you appreciate things. I can feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But one of the biggest ones for me was like, reference to um, the population of the planet, because some individual came across and said there's just under 8 billion people in the world. But
So it's the eights.
yeah, but
So
the
okay.
thing, yeah, but
So
what,
they speak of the great harvest of
yeah,
humans. This is a hoo-ha word that they talked about the great harvest, and they talked about how they said when you think of harvest, you think of all the Hollywood films, right, that you've seen, where they come down and they take all these humans and take them off and put them in freezer lockers or something. I don't know, something catastrophe. They're already doing it. The great harvest. All the other ones in us that have been in there, who served us to this point, who now are coming under bay, they needed that full moon, the blue moon, and everyone's symptoms went through the roof around this blue moon. This blue moon has a cycle, I think, of 10 years to the next blue moon, and it's what we do from now to then.
yeah,
Yeah, to where. And the way it feels, the way I see others smile, I feel like we're on path.
yeah,
And I'm excited for
yeah,
that. Like you, I wake up excited.
yeah,
What's going to happen today? Because yesterday was amazing. What's going to
yeah,
happen today? How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? You say those words when you wake up, you're going to have great things, because that's a prayer in itself.
it is. Yeah,
How does it get any better than this? Because you're saying, I appreciate how good it is now. I appreciate everything, how great it is now. Thank you. How does it get any better than this? It means you're getting ready for the unknown.
yeah, yeah. Well, that excites me. That the unpredictability excites me, because when you're well equipped and you realize the state of being that you're in, and you have this incredible smile, and when you're in your awe and ecstasy of being excited in who and what you are, um, when there are beings around you, uh, they look at you and say, "Well, what are you on?" You know, and you could almost question. I mean, no, I wasn't even thinking like, but they sometimes think that maybe, yeah. Uh, what is it that you're
What is
taking?
it? You're so this is so cute. So what are you on? So you sit down and you lift up your feet and you show them your feet and your hands. And you go, I'm on the same place you are. It's just where are
Yeah,
you and where am I? You,
yeah,
as you, the smiley Barrett is saying appreciation and thank you, and they're saying they're not in them, and they're looking at you. So they're not even in them, they're on the outskirts of them. Can you see where I'm saying? So they're on the
yeah,
outskirts of them. They're not driving them, and they're saying to you, where are you?
yes,
They're getting distracted because of you. So
yeah,
this distraction is a trigger for them to go, where am I? I'm asking where he is or what he's on. I should be asking where I am and what I'm on. And this is I'm on, I on, cells. This is you coming back to
yeah,
you. So once
yeah,
they realize they're ourselves, ourselves are all selves, ores, where the minerals, the tar, the plasma, we are gold, we are, once you start realizing and not start being mind, you realize your ores, the ores is the center of the compass. It's your tool. It's the fifth element. It's your ore. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? This is your indicator. This is your compass. Once you know that your ores, then you know your tools to go from there. So you can smile. You're not worried about what his tool is because his tool's not going to work for you. It's not going to work because you'll be copying. You have to be your tool.
mm,
So this word or, and it is you're saying the essence of you, the or, the essence of Barrett. Could you start with one speck, like the raindrop raises the sea, the one piece of sand in the beach? Gaia herself started with one speck. The tree starts with a tiny speck. It all starts with this tiny speck and gets laid and laid and laid and laid and laid. And if you understand that inside of you, then you get to run your ship and then the rest happens. If the rest happens when you're out of this spin of you, you get weird messages. It's not coming through clean. The frequency. I want the I look forward to the frequency coming through like your top. You can, like if you can imagine that going around that, cause the beaded ones. The
yeah,
beaded ones is also jewelry. It's you wear beads in celebration of
yes,
decoration, and an eclipse. Well, the eclipse with the bead is the sun and the moon in celebration. It's
mm.
like a crown. It's beautiful. It is.
It
So,
is beautiful.
they talk of great catastrophes in eclipses and things like this, but treat the eclipse as a the celebration time. Eclipses have effects for 6 months,
Right.
which is your timing, kind of, right?
But this is a wonderful word you just used, celebration, because that's the way I see it. I'm already celebrating now, and it's a run up to this incredible party where the whole of humanity is coming forward and showing up, because like we said earlier in our conversation, most people don't turn up because they're just not happy in themselves. So they either live in the past or they live dreaming about the future, what is going to happen. But when you take ownership of your vessel and understand the essence of who you are, what you are, and now you're projecting this new incredible paradigm. Um, my question is, who would not want it?
Okay, so well then you have the ones who want a longer experience with the old way, and this has probably been my biggest learning curve, is not trying to force them,
Of course.
or and that's hard in my family because you love your family and your friends around you. You can't force them. You have to be
Yeah.
you have to say, I trust in my awe enough and your awe enough that it will work out.
Yeah.
But you just want to, like the mum in me just wants to come up and shake him a little bit and go, don't you see this? But you can't do that. It doesn't, because you then create a resistance in them. And
Absolutely.
then they get distracted with the resistance and they fixate on that. You said this, you shouldn't have said that to me, you said it this way, blah, 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 and the whole that whole game plays out, the whole spin of that. And you have to be the noble gas, the noble gin,
Yeah.
the noble element of you, and be in your great and appreciate that they're in their great, and their great you don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
even though I think I fully understand, I really don't have any idea of even of my own children, my husband. I don't understand their way. How could I? I wasn't there with them all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So letting go.
Beautiful, Elsa. Yeah. We- it's been absolutely awesome sharing space with you as usual, Elsa. I was just thinking, should we just gently wrap up this beautiful show and
Gently. Why are you saying gently?
oh,
Do you
that's
see?
look, yeah,
I didn't rattle. I hope I didn't rattle anyone. I don't. Honestly, I come out in these interviews, and and when I'm meeting with you, I understand. I'm in your family space. I'm not here to rattle anyone. I'm just here to show another version,
yeah,
so that it's support. I'm here as a sounding board to support others, and show them that we've been doing this for a long time and it works. It really does work, and that you're okay. And I feel that a lot of people need a bit of soothing. This hug.
I couldn't agree more. And sending you
Oh,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hug, and to all our beautiful viewers out there, sending you as well, our beautiful viewers, lots of hugs, and we look forward to having another great meeting in the foreseeable future, and sending you, your family, your beautiful family, lots of love and hugs from our family here as well. And do you want to have the last word to say to our viewers? Something from your heart that you want to put out there? Um, no problem if you don't want to, but I just thought if you want to say a few words just to end the show on a certain note.
oh,
Um,
I like this. So we're going to end on a certain note, which is a message of that you're okay. You really are okay. And just check in with yourself. You're okay. And the universe is here because it knows you're okay. We're all here because we know you're okay. You're okay. Okay.
We're okay. Thank you so much, Elsa, and we will endeavor to connect again. I always feel connected. A part of you is always with me, but in terms of bringing it into this platform, and in the meantime, big kisses and hugs, and see you again.
Yeah. Bye.
Bioactivator would like to thank you for your kind support and donations. Through Barrett Tunian's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth harmonizes, neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and gratitude.